Forsman Addison Wesley, there's no longer that need to look for additional materials to make sure you're covering the Hillsborough expectations. Everything you need to cover those expectations is found right in the series.
As a third grade teacher, I have found the Scott Forsman Addison Wesley program closely correlates with Hillsborough County's expectations.
Last year, when we were all facing benchmarks for the first time, it was so difficult because our curriculum that we had just did not address our needs for the new Sunshine State standards, for the FCAT coming up in 4th grade, much less the benchmark testing that the students were required to do so early in the year. But since we got Scott Forsman Addison Wesley's math, they have addressed all of the issues and have done so very easily. Each chapter just builds upon the next chapter so that your concepts are easily flowing from one to the other. There's plenty of practice time, and it makes, in addition to that, they have added the correlation unit book. And what this book does is it takes all of Scott Forsman Addison Wesley's chapters in the 2nd grade math book, and they have corresponded it directly to the expectation sheets.
What I like about this program is there's minimal preparation time. You open the book, it's all here for you. The lesson organizer saves me so much time when I do my lesson plans.
It's really refreshing to see colorful musical videos, cassette tapes, pre-made flashcards, and so many other manipulatives. Because the program offers that to me, I can then focus my attention on planning and what the children really need to learn.
The program offers a wealth of materials to the teacher. This is what I find the most helpful and relieves a lot of the stress in myself in teaching math. Instead of just teaching out of the book, I go to my closet, and at any given time I can pull out manipulatives, geometric blocks, overhead transparencies, overhead manipulatives, activities, games, all kinds of things that make math a learning and challenging experience for the students.
It comes with a teacher's toolkit, so you even have all your overheads that you need, and they're colored, and they're not additional. They come right along with the kit. You have an assessment book, a practice master, enrichments for those students that really need that extra boost to push them on the next level. You've got activities to go back and give another look, as Scott Forsman calls it, to go back and reteach concepts. There's also performance-based assessments for those students who have a hard time just writing down what the answers are, but they can give it to you easily.
In this series, I have found that not only does each chapter build upon the previous one, but there are connections that are made from concept to concept as you work through the book.
Personally, I like this program because the progression of building from one thing to another really keeps in mind how the children do learn. Instead of skipping around, the authors really thought long and hard about how children learn. I do not need to go back and reteach them because it was taught to them so carefully and so thoroughly. It's really the first time in 10 years that teaching math facts was easy and fun.
The Math with Task program is an awesome program. And in my classroom, I introduced the concept with a video first. And in the video, Annie and Jake and Herman is there, and they are doing a concept. Whether it's money or adding, subtracting, my children are convinced once they see Annie and Jake doing it that they can do it. Right, Annie? Right?
I like to start my day with the problem of the day chart. It's a quick, easy, visual, colorful. The kids love it and find it challenging and fun.
Different. They're all different. And come up here and show us and count for us. Brandy? What are those, Brandy? Shoes. So she's counting a set of shoes.
The book really keeps the students' attention, not just the book, but the entire program. I never hear any child say, "Oh, we're doing math," or "When is math over?" They really are excited about math, and I think that is just the most important thing.
That's today. I love the way the different cultures are represented in the math series. It's when I have a multicultural classroom, and when they open up the book, they can identify with the boys and girls that are in the book.
I have several bilingual students, and there's so much relating to the language development. The jumbo book pages cover finger plays and neat little poems, the tapes that they can relate to.
Has three corners has my hat, and had it not three corners, it would not be my hat.
The students enjoy the variety in the tasks and activities. This is an excellent program for special needs children. There's tremendous support and remediation is built into the program.
The Addison Wesley Math program is very effective with our language impaired students, and it is very strong in developing our math language.
This program helps me to reach my struggling math students by providing continual review and practice of the skills that were taught.
After we have finished the basic lesson, they offer about 3 or 4 different questions that tie in cross-curricular activities. Usually they extend them to science, social studies, and journal writing. And what this does is it lets the children experience math in different forms outside the math classroom.
In first grade, we practice a lot, boys and girls, in reading and learning to read. And in the reading strategies in the workbook correlates directly with the problem solving.
As I work through the chapter with my students, there are different section reviews. There are quizzes given throughout the chapter, so you're not waiting until the end of the chapter to assess. And then when we finally do get to the end of the chapter, there's a variety of tests that you can give to your class depending on the type of assessment you think is necessary.
At the end of each chapter, they give you 4 levels of student accomplishment to let you know as a teacher in the reviews that you've done with them, in their homework, exactly what level of accomplishment they've reached.
The Scott Forsman Addison Wesley program prepares our students for the FCAT test in grades 1 through 5. Students each have booklets that are provided free from the program.
Being a teacher of 5th grade students, we have the FCAT to look forward to in February, and with this series, Scott Forsman Addison Wesley provides a practice booklet which we've been working with, which allows the kids to actually practice the types of questions they'll be answering on that test.
The Scott Forsman Addison Wesley program does a wonderful correlation with FCAT, and our teachers have been very pleased with the way that the children have responded to the questioning. It's challenged them, and our parents have even seen the challenges also met for our children.
The program introduces n as a variable, as well as teaches the students that the equal sign doesn't mean that the answer to a problem is coming up. It's showing them equality in the equation.
As a 5th grade teacher, I find it exciting and challenging that I can get my students to think ahead to 6th grade. And Addison Wesley provides that by offering algebraic thinking through examples and illustrations that they use in the book. I'm able to use variables, and I ask where the n or the x is when we're looking for the solution to a problem.
My students really get excited over the fact that they're learning algebra in the 5th grade.
Since I'm also a parent of a kindergartner, I really like the notes for home at the bottom of each workbook page. It just keeps me informed of Allison's daily progress.
The Another Look or Reteaching page is an excellent way to send home hassle-free homework. By sending home the Another Look Practice Master, it allows the parents the ability to sit down with their students and understand what it is that they've learned that day in school. I've had parents time and time again thank me for this Another Look sheet.
Scott Forsman Addison Wesley has a wonderful service department. We have had training from consultants as well as lead authors at our school throughout this entire year, and the support has been wonderful.
We are pleased to have the Scott Forsman Addison Wesley group on campus. That team has become a part of our faculty and staff. They were right alongside of us, helping to open up boxes and put things in classrooms as we opened in August, and they have certainly become a part of our school-wide family and staff. Scott Forsman has left nothing untouched, from problem of the day to calendar activities to assessment to the Sunshine State standards and Hillsborough County benchmarks. It's all there in one thing, right at your fingertips.
The program is laid out so beautifully that my confidence level is really skyrocketed. And I know that I can feel that in myself as I stand up every day to teach math, and I know I can see that in my students as well.
The program has been so motivating to my students, and they feel so good inside and so successful that they want to be there every day. They don't want to miss math, ever.
Helping you teach and your students succeed is important to us. It's at the heart of everything we do. Scott Forsman Addison Wesley Math is the most respected and trusted name in math education, the #1 math program in Florida and the nation. When you adopt Scott Forsman Addison Wesley Math, you are getting the very best for your students, for your colleagues, and for yourself. Choose Scott Forsman Addison Wesley Math.